Guys, it's Fonzie with DipYourCar.com, and it is time again to do a fresh new dip on the DYC Evo 10. And whenever we do a new color on this particular car, we try to find something a little more bold, a little more aggressive to match the feel of the car. And something that we've been doing a little more often is we've been going on to the DYC Facebook community. And if you're on Facebook and you like dipping, you definitely want to check this community out. There's a lot that goes on there. One of the things we've been doing is putting up a poll in this Facebook community asking the members of the community, what color do you guys want to see on the video car that we're doing that night? So we put a bunch of different options up there: Flash Chameleon, Cobra Chameleon, Nordic, Martian Green. It was an overwhelming response for some reason for the Cobra Chameleon, one of the new chameleon colors that we just launched. Now the Cobra Chameleon is a white-based pearl, so there's a little bit of tips and tricks, and I'll talk to you about that in a moment when using a white-based pearl. But the colors we should see are somewhere around the green, gold, and blue area. We're not really sure what it looks like. It always looks different from a speed shape all the way up to a full scale, so we're going to start dropping coats of black down on the Evo as our base, and then come in with our Cobra Chameleon Pearl on top. Really excited to see how this one turns out. Enjoy the video. Alright guys, the Cobra Chameleon Dip Pearl that we're using today is a white-based color changing pearl, and there's definitely some things that you want to keep in mind to make sure you get a really good end result when you're using a white-based color changing or chameleon color flip type pearl. Now I've got a couple different white-based pearls here, and I'm going to talk you through them very quickly. The first one is the smallest particle white pearl we have. It's not a color changing pearl. This is the balloon white pearl. Again, not color changing. This is a crisp, clean, white type of a pearl. This is going to be used over a white base coat most of the time, and everything we're going to talk about today does not refer to the balloon white. So when we're talking about these white color changing pearls, don't think that if you want to use balloon white that this is going to pertain to that. So we're going to put that aside. Now I've got a couple different examples of some color changing white base pearls here. We've got the GC47 Alien Pearl, we've got the Martian Red Pearl, and then we've got the one we're using today, the Cobra Chameleon Pearl. Now, the problem or one of the challenges that you have with any three of these pearls is that you definitely want to have a dark contrasting base coat first and foremost. So all three of these work best over a black base. And then the challenge that you can run into is what's called whiting out. As you start dropping coats of these white-based color-changing pearls onto a black base coat, you're going to see a lot of rich, very, very bold, vibrant colors. And then as you start going deeper and deeper into your coats, you may notice that as you build up too much product, the boldness and the richness of the color starts to fade away and actually gets lighter. We've seen that a lot. We've seen people come in and say, hey, I use GC47 on my car, and here's what it looks like. What's going wrong? These are an advanced pearl. This is not a beginner or very easy to use pearl, but if you know how to approach it, you can get very good results. So the first thing that I like to tell people is make sure you don't go too heavy. You definitely want to have a nice wettish type coat, like a medium laid coat, but if you go too heavy, what you're going to end up doing is putting on too much pearl too quickly, and you're going to lose the opportunity to get that really bold, rich color. The second thing is you want to definitely go walking the whole car all the way, all up and down the side on every single coat. Do not go panel to panel when using a white color changing pearl. You're going to build up the pearl in between the seams of the doors and everything, and you're going to see some inconsistencies there. Now the best tip that I can give you if this is your first time using a white-based color changing pearl, pull back on the amount of pearl you're putting in per gallon. So for example, an advanced dipper may be able to drop 75 grams of Cobra Chameleon or GC47 per gallon, so 75 grams per sprayable gallon, and actually get a great result. They're going to really pay attention to how much pearl is getting laid down and know when to pull back. If you're going into this for the first time, or if it's something you don't have a lot of confidence in, go back to 50 grams per gallon or even 25 grams per gallon. What that's going to do is it's going to allow you to put coat after coat, and it's going to increase the margin of error for you. So if you're spraying 75 grams per gallon, if you put one coat too many, you're going to end up whiting out and there's no going back. If you got 25 or 50 grams per gallon, you're going to have to put more coats on, but you're not putting as much down per coat, so it gives you more margin of error. So instead of being done after your third coat, you may go into your fourth or fifth coat, but at least you'll be able to identify, is this where I want to be? Do I want to put maybe one more coat on? And then if you do put that extra coat on, you won't go into a little bit of a danger zone where it's whited out and you're going to pull back. So for today's experiment, for today's project, we're going to be putting 50 grams per gallon in. We may end up using a little bit more product, but this is just an option for you. If you're going into it and you don't have a lot of confidence in using a white color changing pearl, then use a little bit less pearl per gallon, order maybe 1 extra gallon, and it'll give you a little bit more wiggle room. You'll end up with a better, more even and consistent result. Guys, behind me here is the end result of the new Cobra Chameleon Dip Pearl over a black base on the DYC Evo 10. And the first thing that I notice about this car is that it's a new set of colors, and I love that. This Cobra Chameleon has some deep greens, some blues, some golds. It's just a different set of colors than any other pearl that's out there, and anything different is something that I get very excited about. Now, to get this finish, we used 1 gallon of glossifier, 1 gallon of matte clear, and 100 grams of Cobra Chameleon, 50 grams per gallon, and we needed 3 solid coats on this car. We stood back and we let it be right there. Remember, if you're going to be using white pearls for the first time and it's something that you're not super confident in, make sure that you use a little bit less pearl per gallon so that you can go ahead and put more coats on and give yourself more margin of error. It'll really help you avoid that whiting out thing that happens when you're using the white base pearls. Now, something that I noticed as soon as we were done putting all the pearls down, we noticed that this is a very sparkly based pearl. This pearl really wants to sparkle, it wants to shine, so we did 1 wet coat of glossifier to tie it all together. If you're using the Cobra Pearl or the new Nordic Pearl, you're going to get the best results, the best sparkle out of it if you do 1 wet coat of glossifier just to give it a little bit of shine and a little bit of extra pop. Now, of course, everything you saw us use today is available directly for you at DipYourCar.com. If you have any questions at all, you know the deal. Customer service at DipYourCar.com via email or call us during business hours. There'll be somebody there to help you out. We're going to let the camera go around. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you on the next video.